What did you waffle? You will not regret that. Oh, you probably might. Okay, so welcome to Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers here between Villese in the blue as Aztecs against Salicum in the red as Chinese. Villese, top Finnish, arguably the top Finnish player at the moment. She's choosing Meso Civs, so Aztecs very well recognised as a strong Arabia Civ. His base got a nice back gold. Both of his balls are back as well, so he should be able to keep them safe. Good wall-off potentials for recent standards. It'll be able to secure his berries. Wouldn't necessarily have too much access to stone, depending on where he chooses to. First off, though, he's going to look round for his pigs. Salicum here with Chinese. Unorthodox start. Only just going out to build a house now because you start with extra villagers but no food. So priority number one is get food under the TC to ensure villager production. Salicum with a 1-vill lead for the moment, so that should extend up to 2 later on when Villese researches Loom. Salicum already has that. In terms of maps here, again, Salicum won't be as happy. It's very, very exposed to the right of his TC. Should be able to wall off on the left quite nicely. May have to wall into the TC for the time being. But that shouldn't be the end of the world. He'll have safe gold access. This is a mistake for him, though. He ran out of food. So that should mean that he might be a villager down now. So yeah, his TC is now idle while he's waiting for the food to tick up to 50. There he goes. And so that has allowed Villese to be the majority of that villager down. Is this live? Yes, this is live. There is another set going on. It starts at 18 GMT. So in about 5 minutes. I would like to cast that with Rex. I just need to get hold of them after this. Just catch up. If you haven't seen JBR Ro64, let me make sure to check them out on YouTube. Yeah, my YouTube channel is starting to have more and more content added. After I finish streaming this evening, I'm going to continue to upload the games I casted from yesterday. So if you did miss them, they should be on there tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. So you can catch up on the games that have been played so far. Okay, so Villese as Aztecs will be quite happy. You will be, Blue Girl, with this matchup, particularly in the early game. Because of how fragile the Chinese food economy is at the start, they become really vulnerable to early aggression from particularly a drush. And with how exposed the berries are, that would be a really nice area for Villese to go and pressure. He has scouted it already, so he sees where most of the main resources are. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see a drush heading into that area in a few minutes' time. Salicum running past Villese's TC. Villese moves the pigs out of the way so they don't get stolen by the scout. Salicum is way better than me. Why doesn't he use the TC to kill the ball? A lot of people still don't, Gianni. It's a risk, as I'm sure Lohab will happily point out. If you use the TC to kill the boar and the last shot is not with villagers, you've completely wasted all that food. Thank you, Lohab. I was expecting that, so I thought I'd prompt it. So it's I was here when that clip was made. Yeah, that's why players don't. I have done it with the TC dozens of times with no problem and I've done it every set of that tournament. And that was the second boar. I did it no problem with the first one, and then for some reason it didn't work. What's the logic behind this, though? If you do it with the TC, It's just slightly more efficient. Why I do it, I don't know. You can make sure that the boar is in a better position for it. Is it the at the top level, the little efficiencies will matter. I'm sure we can, Lohab. Why would TC Fiver and ball me? Oh, basically, any animal, the last hit needs to be with a villager to kill it. Otherwise, you can't harvest from it. It's basically just to make it a little bit skill related rather than just garrison under TC, kill it. I presume. And so the drush is coming in. Salicum went up on 23 pop. So he'll be 1.5, maybe 2 villagers ahead. But he's going to lose this one, so it's going to be 1 to... well, none to 1 vill ahead by the time he gets there. That should be 1 fine. Okay, so we got man-at-arms instantly for Villese. Walls are wide open. Salicum now trying to wall into his TC, but there's no villagers there to garrison, so was the wall too greedy in the Ville, therefore too far away so you could get killed? Yep. Yeah, I when I was looking at the maps at the start, this is the wall off I expected to see. It's the safe option. Walling is something that I've been looking at a lot. Yeah, having no barracks is not ideal. And because there's only 2 vills there, he could just run in with these. I'm surprised. Does Villese know how little's there? No, he doesn't. Okay. So, yeah, the time taken to get out here to do the walling. He is playing against Aztecs. He should be expecting a drush. It's way too ambitious. Here, this was the sensible wall off. And it protects what it needs to. The cost of men-at-arms means that you don't want to dive them under the TC. Villese just running out with his eagle, pulls it back. Salicum will need to repair that soon. Yeah, there he goes. Good timing on the repairs. Scout is trying to pick off the eagle. And now archers are coming in for Villese. But Salicum has added a few archers of his own, putting them behind just to prevent the men-at-arms trying to break in. A bit too close for my taste. Yeah. Could have been a little bit safer there, but it worked. And behind this, Villese under no pressure at all. He's even out taking a few of his deer, and he's just walling up his base. Already got blacksmith, so fletching on the way. Salicum only just now having enough to afford a blacksmith of his own, but a pretty stable food economy behind this. Well, I suppose not as stable because he's been pushed off berries, so it may make sense that he'll have had to have dropped a few more farms. Which is not too big an issue with Chinese. They get extra food on their farms, so yeah, he won't be too upset having to do that. So Salicum adding a second range, just the one still for Villese. Archer's still coming across the map for Villese. He's now broken through. Slicker Joe, these are a best of 5. So at the very least we'll have 3 matches here. Before we then try and grab the Rex for Miguel versus Pike. Salicum is very heavily on gold at the moment. I'm not quite sure what the plan of that is. Whether he's going to drop a market to be able to just try and buy his way up a little bit quicker. It's a slightly weird decision for me. Villese just sticking one range for now. No need for him to add any more. He's got all of the pressure on Salicum, and he's just going to make sure his base is walled, and he's adding his own farms, taking his deer as well, so that'll be a really nice boost to his food economy. And Villese just pulling back to the hill. So he's 1 down on archers there? Yeah, 2 down now, but reinforcements coming in. What's in there? There's an archer in the TC that Salicum doesn't know about. So while Villese has got the archers distracted at the top, he's going back in with the man-at-arms, trying to force some more idle time, trying to break through. If Salicum sends an archer to try and deal with this, then he's down on numbers at the top. Okay, so Salicum does have the armor upgrade, but he must have misclicked. He's losing all of them. I don't know where they're going. That's a mistake, because now Villese could go back in with this army and any reinforcements can go and clean these 2 up. I would have gone straight to skirms, no archers in Salicum. I'd have been inclined with straight skirms. It's not something you really want to do against Mezzo, because they can switch into Eagles because they already have the barracks. But in that scenario, where you're just trying to hold, it made complete sense to me as well. Where are naughty boys go? Okay, so Villese now on his way to Castle Age. He is going to go into Eagles. Yeah. So he only had 1 range because his investment is now going to be into the Eagle switch. Okay, so Villese just no reason to throw his archer numbers away. He's still got 8 here, so he'll head back to the hill. Never got the the armor upgrade. Doesn't need to invest any extra into his archers, but he's still adding more. So one of the hardest parts of transitions is making sure that you still have military numbers. So Villese is trying to transition across into Eagle production, so anything invested into archers is stuff that he's not really going to be using long term. But if he doesn't make more now, he's at risk of Salicum just clearing up this army and pushing on for a counterattack. Eagles still being produced as if feudal, so they're really, really slow. What hell's worth it? Okay, so Salicum is on his way up now. So Villese gets there first. He's got too few archers here. He's not going to bother with the crossbow upgrade. And now his barracks are producing eagles from all of them. He's got the 2nd armor upgrade on the way. Got Eagle Warrior on the way. Okay, Eagle's coming in. Salicum sees it. What does he now do? He needs very solid crossbow numbers to try and deal with this Eagle mass that's coming. And okay, that's a better reaction. Goes 2 stables. So he's just going to try and keep the Eagles out with walls. That will go down to the Eagles too fast. Needs a 2nd villager in for repairs, or to help build it. Okay, he'll be fine now. And now it'll just be wasted HP on them. Villese going for a forward siege workshop. He'll be breaking in very soon. The first defense upgrade coming in for Salicum, and now adding knights. I don't think he has the bloodlines yet, so his knights will be a little bit underpowered for the time being. Hey Stefan, welcome back. It's really nice seeing like people that may have come across me for the first time recently. So some people like Stefan was here yesterday. And then coming back for a second day in a row is lovely. So thank you, everyone that's done that. How does Salicum win this? Okay, so Salicum is 2 Vils ahead. He needs to stall this out. No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to stall it out. Villese is already on 2 TCs. He needs to go heavy on knights. Or even knights and crossbow. His investment needs to be on the gold units if Villese disconnects. No, Chukunu will do absolutely fine in that. Because... Oh, there's a hole. Because Chukunu have their additional arrows that do... that affects rams. Because of the extra arrows, they do more damage than an archer does to an eagle. So eagles with their 5 pierce armor are only taking 2 damage a shot from the crossbows. But straightforward Chukunu does 1 damage with its main arrow, or 2 maybe. I don't know the exact numbers, and then 1 with each of its extra ones as well. So. Yeah, they are a very, very strong unit. It would force Villese into Atlatl Skirm, which is fine, it's worth doing, but I would say Chukunu plus Light Cav would be the response. So Villese has added a monastery to deal with the knights that Salicum's adding. So Salicum doesn't want to push back too far at the moment. He just needs to keep this army away and mass up numbers. He is making knights and crossbows, which is what he needs here. He needs the knights as a meat shield in front of the crossbows to try and keep his crossbow mass alive. He's running low on them there. The crossbows could be trying to snipe the monks. That's what I'd like to see. Okay, the monk is going to escape. Knight's slightly out of position. I think here is now where you see the skill difference. The micro going on is just seeming a little too much for Salicum, and he taps out. This qualification will have some crazy 32 round games. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, very, very good pressure from Villese. Mistake there was just in the walling. This is where Salicum should have done his walls to begin with. Then a drush comes in, it does nothing. Instead, it got huge damage getting a villager before it was upgraded to man at arms, and then just kept everything of Salicum's at home. Villese's eco completely untouched. Digo Roko, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And that was 1-0 to Villese. Looking at the statistics, I don't expect to see anything too surprising. So often people take Chinese. Yeah, Chinese are a really, really strong Civ in 1v1s. I don't think that was anything down to the Civ or anything like that. I think he was just outplayed. Made a couple of bad decisions along the way. Yeah, certainly nothing to do with the Chinese as a Civ. It was a Civ selection. Okay, let's go that screen. And that was Chinese losing against Aztecs. So Villese using his first choice pick there. What will you cast at the weekend? I will cast as many as I can on Sunday. I think I'm going to have Saturday off. I think it'll be more than my life's worth to try and cast all weekend. Yeah, so I will be... I'm going to do some tomorrow. There's a show match between GL and Aftermath. Benevi, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Dig, I teach maths to deaf children at a secondary school in the UK. So yes, you absolutely may ask. Salami on the architecture again. Liverpool this season not doing well. Goals are an issue, yes. How do I teach? Do I know sign language? It's a oral school, so everything is done by spoken. But I do know a little bit of sign language. So students use amplification or lip reading to access lessons. But I've done my level 1 BSL course, and I really enjoy sign language. It's fantastic. I'm not very good at it. I can understand it quite well. Cool. Game 2. Deaf school, but you teach orally. In some ways, yeah. I see that, and I've heard those arguments before. But it basically... the school is trying to get them to learn strategies to help them outside of a school environment into the rest of the world. So yeah, it's exactly that, breaking down barriers to communication. No, I know, Nesalami. I'm just explaining. Yeah, so by teaching students how to lip read, for example, and how to form good lip patterns themselves to be able to communicate back, is part of like the school's ethos. The students themselves sign with each other almost all the time, particularly outside of lessons. Before like COVID and stuff, I used to like sitting with some of the sixth formers, particularly at lunchtime, and just chatting with them and learning bits of sign language from them. It was really cool. Okay. Right, so this is game 2 of the Hidden Cup qualifiers. Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers between Villese in the blue as Britons and Salicum in the red as Spanish. Fully expecting fast castles from both players. A little bit of a slower start. We're going to watch Villese hold the gate open with his pig and push the Ibex through. At least it's easy to catch some cheating. Yep, definitely low up. Okay, so main features of this map, you start off with your base inside a set of palisade walls with a big wood line in the center, both players onto with access to that wood. Start with a gold and a stone and their berries and both their boars inside, but all the ibex will be outside, and they have their sheep, or in this case pigs, to find. Around the map there are extra resources, relics, slightly in favour of Salicum with this one, but not too far off. That wood patch in the middle reminds me of something. Is that gold plus stone at the bottom? And it's way off to the side. Here, yeah, so we've got a gold and a stone. Gold and stone over there. So not too much else to talk about the map. I'm just looking to see how balanced resource allocation is. I think this could be a fairly important area in terms of the neutral resources, because you've got 2 extra golds and 2 extra stones all in one part of the screen there. Salicum could ideally secure this area. I wouldn't be shocked to see some stone walls here for him. As adventurous as far forward as he can manage. Villese should have these available. But yeah, this is... map is very top heavy in terms of resources. It is, you're right, and that's a contrast to the generation of this we saw yesterday. Yesterday we had a lot of the resources down in the south, so I guess it's kind of wherever the bulk of the wood line isn't is where we get the bulk of the extra resources. The wood patch looks a bit like a dinosaur to me. I can see it. Top resources are closer to the less. They're easier to secure with walls for Villese. Yeah. Villese can wall off here a lot easier than Salicum can wall off here. But I think this is where we'll see most of the contest in this game. Salicum picking Spanish means that I highly expect him to go for a castle and go for conquistadors. If that is the case, I expect the castle to be in this area if he's not under pressure at the time. He could then use that to... he'll probably stay on stone and can start to push out, maybe add another castle on this hill and try to secure that with some military. I think Villese will just see that and get hold of that area early and push from there. Possibly. It might be that Villese will use crossbows to keep Salicum back at his base. And then, as you say, try to lock this down. Yeah, Benevi covered it all. Magyar's very strong civ in the late game, but no eco bonus means that they're not top tier in 1v1s. Do British Expos outrange conks? I believe they do. I believe all Expo outrange conks, don't they? Yeah, 6 range for conquistadors. Expos will be 5 plus 2, so 7. I want to see Bay. I like Bay as a map. What have we got? For us to see Bay, we need Villese to lose a game. It's his home map. Ooh, Villese is on stone. Villese looks like he's going to go for longbows. That's excellent to see. But Salicum isn't. This is... I haven't got my colours wrong. No, this is exactly the opposite of what I expected. I'm very, very surprised. The pros you go FC on hideout. Yes, builder. The vast majority will go for an FC into something likely Expo, maybe Knights. But some pros you would see going very early man-at-arms towers, maybe. Just not quite sure what Salicum's going to do. I'd love to see Bay. I've not seen it so far. I would love to see the changes and if Magyar was dominant last year. Do you mean Mongols? I think the changes to Bay are minimal, and so Mongols look like they will still be dominant there. When I finish streaming this evening, I will be uploading the games from yesterday onto YouTube. And we did cast one on Bay, so if you subscribe on YouTube, let's go sell out, then you can get that when I upload it later this evening. Stefan, no, it definitely won't be the Backstreet Boys because I don't want to get DMCA notifications. So it's a stable blacksmith for Salicum. He's hiding it in his base. This is to try and catch Villese off guard. Why has Villese come off of stone? Okay, no, he'll be fine. He'll go back onto stone now. Okay, so this is with the express purpose of being a surprise. He's a little bit late up. What went wrong? The food was a little bit down. Nothing too major. He did just research loom, which I'm not quite sure why he did. Maybe he was just a bit unsure about being pressured. That's one thing you won't see pros do on hideout too often. They'll use their scouting to make sure that there's no forward pressure coming, and therefore they can skip loom. If Salicum comes right up to the edge, needs to be right at the edge because he needs to see as much as possible. He'd see the stone. That's a big miss.
Monday?
Although he'll see the market blacksmith. What if you were to sing some vegetables? Yes, there would actually, Gianni. So I've got a program called Pretzel Rocks, which is free for streamers, and it means that I can listen to some music while I stream. Loads on there, and it's all copyright free, so shouldn't get into trouble. I did have one though that I had to mute on a YouTube video once. Okay, so we've just got the lull now, and it'll be okay. Castle here for Villese. That will secure his stone. His gold here. What does this map is like faster arena, I think. So we're gonna have monks. Okay, monks fine. You want to take the relics around the map. He has seen the castle now at least, so he knows that there's longbows. This map is like faster arena, I think. I can see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's a good analogy for it. So, Villese also able to drop his second TC, staying on stone, so I would expect him to try and secure this with castles soon. I'm not reading out your message, Stefan. I don't know how copyright works with text. I don't want to test it either, just for the record. Okay, so castle's up, longbows coming out, and another TC coming out for Villese. Could have even gone a little bit further just to get him close to the gold, but not too worth it. Okay, so we've got a market coming down now for Salicum. Don't get the market either. But what if you sing some Disney songs? I could easily sing Disney songs, other than the fact that you definitely don't want to listen to that, and that will also be still copyright issues. So I shall refrain from singing, much to all of your benefit, I assure you. Okay, so Salicum just massing knights for the time being. No upgrades yet. No bloodlines. Disney is the worst when it comes to DMCA. Possibly is, Lohab. Possibly. As I said, I will give it all a miss. So Mel mentioned earlier about the longbows range in the middle wood. That I counted that as about a 14 gap at the moment. I think longbows have 12 range when fully upgraded. Elite longbows. So they certainly would be able to range that as the game progresses. But there's still loads of other wood accessible. You just shift onto this side. So another town centre for Salicum. Both players just booming for now. Longbows come out, find the knights. I'm just going to micro back. It would just look impressive. It would, Mel, I completely agree. Everyone loves longbows for that. He's just going to retreat back to the castle. Might pick off a knight. Nope, no ballistics yet. No fletching yet either, so fletching's just on its way. So now it's 7 range on the longbows. And both playing very, very passive. Salicum added a second stable, still no bloodlines, but first armor now coming in. He is going around the map trying to collect the relics. So is Villese, I think. Can't see his monk anywhere though. Villese added a monastery but hasn't started collecting relics. Salicum up to 2 already, third one on its way in. I don't know what you're doing, Nohab, but I'm not taking part of this. Okay, so Villese only now getting loom. Because you're behind the walls, you have a little bit of notice for your opponent coming in. So the only times where you're vulnerable to your opponent breaking in with unloomed villagers present are when you're advancing age. Who wins? The scout beat the longbow. Interesting. No bodkin yet. Bodkin now on the way for the longbows, so that will make a difference. First defense upgrade, second one not coming in just yet for Salicum. And everything still very calm, very passive. There's a knight out here. Probably was trying to watch for that monk, but missed it. But it looks to me like Salicum should secure this one with his military out there at the moment. And no ballistics yet. Yeah, no ballistics yet. 4th TC coming up for Villese, so that'll give him some more stone. So he'll continue to add some castles, probably in this area, to secure that. Salicum, he's going out for a TC. So both players just booming at the moment. No real pressure, no aggression. But the longbows did chase the knights away for the time being. Still no bloodlines. Second armor is on the way now though. Still no ballistics either for Villese. So fighting against knights, ballistics is one that you really want to try and prioritize because they're almost always going to be moving. Against archers, it can matter and it can be the difference in a fight. Walking away for the last relic. Yep, just there now. And here we go. Salicum is trying to wall up. Villese is already in with a villager. And Villese is going to go secure that area with a castle now. Monk and longbows should scare this army away. Yep. So Villese will get that last relic in. University is here, ballistics on the way, and Imperial Age on the way for Villese. He's just a little bit low on food at the moment before he adds more villagers. Kind of feels like Villese is playing with his food. Yeah, I think Villese is just playing super safe. He's not trying to risk anything. Villese has gone for stone walls here. Salicum with stone walls here. Love it. So both of them are trying to secure these extra resources. Villese does have a second wall off there, which I really like. This is Villese giving full respect to his opponent. He just doesn't want anything to surprise him here. This should be a pretty comfortable position for him at the moment. Salicum, his eco is completely off balance. 1,000 wood, 1,000 gold, no food banked up. And what's Villese going to do here? It looks like he's going to add another castle. Probably on this hill. So Salicum's already dropping one there. Villese going to go onto this hill with it. Just waiting for a bit more stone. Might even go more aggressive and go here, but no, just stopping there. Okay, does Villese see the castle? Yeah, he sees the castle. Just pulls back. No need to do any sort of pressure, any sort of stress. He's got trebs coming forward from both of his castles at home. Looks like JBR will be right, at least for this set. Lohab, let's not get those assertions in too early. For those that don't know, I did a predictions video on YouTube. Of the 2 sets that have been played so far, I was completely wrong on my outcome for one and wrong on my score for the other. So, but I fully expect me to be wrong on many others afterwards. Where's Villese's villager? Oh, it went forward. So it finished walling and then went this side. Salicum sees it, he's going to come and kill. I think everyone knows where this is. No salami, maybe so, maybe so. But there might be some new people that have snuck in. So, just got to make sure. Lohab tells me off if I don't do enough selling out, so. Okay, elite longbow on the way. Salicum on his way to the Imperial Age as well. Is that Warwolf coming in? Warwolf is coming in. Gianni, that was Masters of Socotra, not Hidden Cup 4. Cheers, Lohab. Hey, Pantless Bird. Welcome to the stream. So this, if you are just joining us, this is game 2 of the Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers. We've got Villese in the blue versus Salicum. Too much pressure here. That castle will go down to the trebs. No stress. Yeah, if you're trying to out-repair trebs, I believe it's 9 villagers per treb. The Villese diving in with his army leaves his trebs exposed and his villagers exposed. Oh no, he's coming back. He'll be fine. Might lose a treb here, depending on what Salicum prioritizes. Salicum prioritizing the monks. Gets both the monks. Going to pick off a few villagers. There's too many longbows here. They're taking down the knights far too quickly. Castle might get delayed for the time being. But Salicum calls it there. Yeah, weird to see Spanish used for knights on this map. Not quite what I would expect to see. I could see Spanish going for man-at-arms towers and trying to break in, put pressure on early. In all honesty, that could have worked very well, but he would never have known where the stone was in Dark Age, so he couldn't have made that decision. But even, I suppose he was planning conks, but didn't want to face crossbows, but you got to expect it at this stage. He baited Salicum on purpose by leaving the trebs undefended. Maybe so. I think whatever happens, because he's broken in and taken the castle down, Salicum has to dive. But there's just too much there. He was trying to add seed ram, but not anywhere near. Still needs what, 600 food for capped ram than 1,000 food for siege ram. Okay, I am back, and I'm just going to go. The game is just launched. Okay, so this is game 3 of the Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers between Villese in the blue as Mayans against Salicum in the red as Saracens. Here we have the map slopes. Key defining feature, the slopes. Each player has standard resources around their base. But also on each side you have these small ponds with shorefish and ibex, both of which are faster food collection, so well worth going out to. What did I miss? Why not Miguel vs Pike? I will be casting all of Miguel vs Pike after this. I just need to find the Rex. If anyone has already got the Rex and can send them to me, I would be grateful. That saves me finding them. But if not, that's no stress. I can find it afterwards. Okay, so Civ matchup. We have Mayans, more than likely going to be opening probably not an infantry start, probably just straight into archers. Could do infantry very well, but it feels relatively far apart, so I'd be inclined myself to just go for a straight archer opening. Salicum as the Saracens, a little bit more flexible, more well known for archers of late, but recent balance changes have made their camels quite strong again, but I'd be surprised to see them in this matchup. Stefan, will we get the capture age soon? I have capture age already, the new free version of it. I just find it a little bit what's the words? I don't find it very smooth at the moment. I love the software, I love the idea of it, I think it's fantastic, and I really want to be able to use it. I just find it a little bit harder to use at the moment. It's not useless low hab, it's brilliant. It's just not quite ready, in my opinion, or it's not quite how I would like to use it. Expensive. Yes. So the pre-release version was expensive. I had the offer of getting it, but I couldn't justify it. But it's now completely free, Stefan. Can you toggle fog of war in CA? I can't see an option. Beige. I think there are hotkeys to do stuff like that, but I don't know what they are. If I get to the point of using it, I will do some information about how to use it and stuff. But yeah, I think it's only a few updates away from being in a really good state. There's constantly developing on it, so I've got high hopes for the software. But okay, so my opening prediction's completely wrong. I should probably wait a little bit longer before I make guesses about what we'll see. We have Villese not gone to his berries yet. He's gone out to here, so that's okay. But is adding in a drush. So his scout was recently out on the left-hand side. He sees the mill being dropped. Just sat under the TC. That's not ideal for this level of player. But drush is heading across there. And in all honesty, Salicum has also just seen that barracks. His scout should be sat here waiting to see what happens to the militia. He should be knowing exactly where they're going. We do have a barracks coming down from Salicum as well. Gone out to 2 on gold. So is that going to be... Okay, so it is just a drush in reply from Salicum. He's tried to wall in these villagers. I don't know how well you can wall on this terrain, or whether you can just walk all across it. I think you can just walk all across it. You can. Yeah, so walling your villagers in is not the solution there. We saw yesterday that the same thing happened, so... Okay, so Salicum will keep those 2 villagers alive for now. He escapes with the 3rd one, and Villese is going to use the militia to kill the Ibex. Salicum on the way to Feudal Age. He collected 10 gold and then did nothing with it. He currently has 12 villagers sat under his TC doing nothing. Okay, now he's moving them. He was trying to escape with these. A little bit greedy. Wait till the militia are not around. That one. Good use of the scout to idle the villagers, to delay the militia. He's run out of food is a concern. But he's going to be able to fight the Drush back. Yeah, a very messy start here. The Drush from Villese doing exactly what it's meant to, giving himself time to wall up at home with some big walls. But that's fine. He'll be safe. On the way now to the Feudal Age. Went up on 28 villagers, so it's likely to be just a Drush FC from Villese. Very proud of Villese going for the D-Drush. Okay. In all honesty, he could go straight across and do the same on that side. Especially if he gets that one low HP militia. This militia's done an amazing job so far. This is great use of a Drush. Excellent value. Just needs to make sure he doesn't engage with that. There's no need. Okay, so we've got an archery range coming up for Salicum. Villese, 600 food, 100 gold. So yeah, he's going to go straight up to the Feudal Age from here. Who wins? Scout should win. No. Militia looks like it will. Right. 2 HP militia. Run away. Villese. Go kill the other deer. No. Doubles back. Gets killed by the villager. Villese going to drop archery range. I want to mark it. Is he going to go straight eagles? He is. Market blacksmith. He's going to go straight for eagles. GG. Drush OP. Maybe solo hub. It's going to be... Yeah. Will Salicum be able to see that? Coming forward now with archers. Risky to have no military presence on the way up against Saracens. They have extra damage on their archers against buildings, so they can normally break through walls pretty quickly, but in low numbers probably be okay. Right, so there we go. There's the second barracks. We'll probably add a third shortly after. Heavy investment on gold. It's got a few out on... Oh, very exposed villagers on the side. Hey, Paradox. How are the first 2 games? Stomps. Yeah, pretty much. Johnny, doing yourself proud there. Keep it up. Although I do like that the AI now give you a GG back. What's there? Yeah, so Paradox, the first game was Arabia, Chinese versus Aztecs. Very ambitious wall off from Salicum that got denied. Villese did loads of work with his Aztec militia, upgraded to man at arms, and then just kept steamrolling from there. GG animal plays. Very true, Pantless Bird. It's nice, isn't it? I like the manners that the AI now have. Speaks wonders of pro me in my eyes. This villager heading forward. Are we going to see some siege outside of Salicum's base? Nice, I really like Villese. He's the most common voice. Yeah, a big fan of Villese. He's like gone. He's progressed very well over the last year, so I look forward to seeing him in this tournament. I have him down as one of the players to qualify, and he hosted me yesterday, so I'm not going to say a bad word against him. It's weird though, because I always mentally abuse him. Yeah, we get wood when they program it to insult you. When they insult it. That's true, Lohab. Finns have lovely voices. So, expect to see maybe another barracks in the future, although Villese fully spending all of his resources. That's an interesting defense for Salicum. Is Salicum going to go Mamelukes? Surely not. Why has he stayed silent after? If that's how you want to play the AI, carry on. I wonder what the max sounds like. That's true. I can't recall having heard the max's voice. Come on, Mamelukes, let's go. Oh, about the Finns having lovely voices. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He sounds like he's high. Hi, Sapate. Welcome to the stream. Mostly Nessalami. I was thinking more about the Finns that I do hear speaking regularly, like Kimi Räikkönen, the Formula 1 driver. He often has a very calm voice, but it's the things he's saying that are fantastic. And the way he's saying it. The Only Kit Kat, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the follow. So, Villese just scouting with his eagles, both sides, making sure there's no villagers out here. He knows everything of Salicum is in the centre. Salicum is going for Mamelukes. This is what we like to see. I'm so excited for this. Love Kimi. Yes, Usador. Kimi, the Iceman for a reason. It's great. Good name. Yeah, I love how blunt Kimi Räikkönen is. Okay, Eagles break in and out pop the Mamelukes, and Villese runs away from that. This is a wonderful reply. Mamelukes do melee damage. Eagles have very poor melee armor, so the Mamelukes should be able to chase these down and do very well here. Yeah, Kimi been a top quality driver for years. I think he's still got a seat for this season coming, but I can't remember. Formula 1's one of the things that I absolutely adore. I get up at 5 o'clock, or earlier, 4 o'clock, for that traditional first race of the season on in Australia. My wife thinks I'm absolutely mad. I need to ask her whether she thinks that's more mad than me sat here talking to people about a computer game. I'm not convinced which she would be more confused by. I hate Lewis Hamilton with a passion. I really like Lewis Hamilton, so but I understand people's dislike of him. My wife got me to F1. Nice. Yeah, my wife hates Formula 1, hates Age of Empires. And just in time with the house war for Villese, chases the Mamelukes away with a monk. I think my wife can tell this is more productive than watching Formula 1. Maybe, Lohab, after the stream I'll ask her and I'll let you know on Discord what she says. training. Oh no, I have to do that as well. I just tend to do that while watching Formula 1 or Age of Empires. So we've got another raid on the left hand side. Already there is... she says I'm not allowed, Paradox. So, Mamelukes, very, very expensive here. They're going down to the TCs. They can't take these fights for the now. Yeah, I tend to do most of my housework whilst watching something. He broke in. So that's going to be Deadvilles. Don't worry, you don't need to read that message out loud. No, I kept it quiet, don't worry. She's not in the same room, so she wouldn't hear me anyway. F1 has been really boring for the past 10 years. I can understand that as a perspective. So Villese adding a castle on the right hand side. Garrisoned a villager inside it. Maybe to make him think that there's plumes there. Manages to kill off the Mamelukes. Left hand side, Mamelukes dying to the TC. Do you believe that? Absolute Nesalami. There is no way she sat downstairs watching this. She's watching something. I'm working right now. Nice, Benevi. Yeah. Salicum calls it there. There's very little he can do here. Fair play to him for getting into the qualifiers, but he is just outclassed here. He's playing arguably one of the top 10 players in the world right now. So yeah, I like the fact that he tried something different here. But yeah, Villese is just too good. There's a reason we don't see Mamelukes at the high level. It's not going to work against a player of Villese's level. And so that is 3-0 to Villese. Okay, so running through the statistics, nothing too major here. There's no big armies. Game didn't last too long, so there's no real discussions of economies. Mayan, yeah, Villese had more villagers, so that's true, Paradox. I agree. I certainly respect the attempt, but I think Mamelukes is not necessarily it. I'm confused as to why Tatars weren't chosen from here. Tatars seem like they'd be a good pick on this map. Textbook stomp. Yep, it is. 80 villagers in the end for Villese. Very, very solid performance.